Okay, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I feel like I just had to have the intro sounding a bit more vocal, but like I'm not really that vocal. I'm actually quite exhausted. Yo, I'm literally quite exhausted. So I've been fasting for the past 3 days straight, like only drinking water and tea, right? That's the only thing I've really been drinking. It's the first time I've ever like fasted in this way. Usually when I fast from like a certain period of time of the day to like another, like during the day, like I've like a sun. What is it called? Only when the sun is up, that's when I'm not eating. Then when the sun is down, I stop eating. So usually that's what I used to do, but like I've been trying this whole like fasting for like a prolonged period of time, and now it's like the first time I've actually gone like so long without eating, and I'm really feeling day three day three I'm really feeling like everything affect me at once. This is probably not going to be a long video. I'm just sharing my experience, and I'm going to mention the good and the bad that I noticed while fasting. In terms of the good, I think by the third day, in fact by the second day, pardon me, by the second day I had already started to notice like body wise, I started to notice that it seemed like I was losing weight, but really my body wasn't storing any of the food that I was eating, especially for me because I'm a person who eats like 3 times a day. So the whole transformation from like eating 3 times a day to not even like once would definitely, I definitely, that's why I think I saw such a big difference, right? So in terms of body wise, day two, I saw a big difference, especially when like I started like going to the loo more often. It was a good and a bad thing, because it was a good thing because I knew when I'm going to the loo that I'm excreting more body fat, or body waste rather, let me put it that way. And it was a bad thing because every time I would do that, I would lose a lot more energy. Like I would just feel tired after that. My body would just feel weak, and I could start to feel the hunger like creeping up on me. Day one, I didn't really feel anything much. Day one was pretty solid. But day two was when I started feeling like, okay, I'm actually doing something. Day three, which is today, I think another thing that I did that kind of um was like self-sabotaging for myself. Around day two and day three, today and yesterday, I was exercising, right? So yesterday I was doing like a whole lot of what is this calisthenics. I was doing a lot of calisthenics and jump rope, and yesterday that's what I was doing. Today I took like a walk for like 30 minutes, um a high intensity walk, for 30 minutes. I was wearing like a plastic. I was wearing a plastic so I could sweat more. And by the time I came back home, my head, bro, my head was just giving me like the most. I was just going through the most. So, in terms of body wise, I would say that's the one thing. Those are the couple of things that I noticed happen, right? Spiritually, spiritually, the first day I started fasting. Like a lot just happened. I'm not even gonna lie, a lot happened from that first day. Um, I'm taking this break because I don't. I'm kind of choosing my words carefully, and I don't wanna. Um, Let me do this rather. I'm gonna tell you from the first thing that I noticed spiritually that happened that day. The first thing was, because when I was fasting, I didn't tell anyone. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna tell anyone. And at the time, me and my girl were cool. At the time, I could have told her, but I was like, you know what, I don't want to tell her because it's gonna seem like I'm doing it just to impress her. So let me just not tell her. And then my best friend, a friend of mine, called me. He wanted to come sleep over, right? The next day. I was like, dude, I don't think now is a good time because, well, at the time when he called, my intention with this fast was like to prolong it for like a super long time, a long amount of time. it wasn't just gonna be like 3 days. My intention was to make it a whole lot longer than just 3 days. But yeah, when he called me, I I'm also trying to practice like not lying or like hiding things and stuff like that. But I think with what I'm about to say next, it's not really not lying, but it's choosing what to share. But I'll tell you this. Immediately after that call with the friend of mine, I told him, I was like, dude, you can't come through tomorrow because I'm fasting right now. And as I told him that, two things really started happening after I told him that. I started getting tested like sexually, right? Because that's something I was also like fasting against, like sexual let's rather say lust. I was like fasting against lust, you know. Won't really go into too much detail about it, but that was something I was kind of like fasting against. And after I told him, I met someone who like this person. I met this person like a period of like what like 30 minutes, and then like things just started getting very sexual between me and that person. And bear in mind that me and my girl aren't were well we never really were dating. It was a talking stage, but we were so comfortable that it felt like we were dating. So I will say with full disclosure, we were never dating. But yeah, uh yeah, that happened. I met that person and it got to that point where I was just like tested a lot, and then I just had to did it, you know. And I realized this later. I was like, oh wait, let me mention what happened after that. So same day after telling my friend that I'm fasting, same day after telling my friend that I'm fasting, I I we didn't get into an argument with the my girlfriend at the time. No, talking stage at the time. We didn't get into an argument or anything like that. But the vibes were just like off. I'm still gonna record a separate video explaining what exactly happened, because I had gone live and explained like part of what had happened between us, but I didn't finish the story. And I think with everything happening the way it's happening now, I don't think we're gonna get back together. I personally don't want to get back together with her. Um, so I think I'm at a place where it's okay. I'm willing to talk about what happened between me and her. Also, I will mention that I've decided that I'm going to continue writing this book I was writing about my other ex. So I'm going to continue writing that book and then hopefully drop the PDF sometime within the next month. Okay, but anyway, getting back to what I was saying. So couple of minutes later, really after the whole last um temptation. Is that what I should call it? Last temptation. Okay. A couple of minutes after that, um, I wasn't really. I was questioning the conversation I was having with this girl, right? Because we had recently gotten back together. Previously, we weren't talking for like a week. We started talking on the 26th. I started talking to her on the 26th. On the 27th, she wished me happy birthday, and then I responded to her, and then we were fixing things. So this is the 28th. On the 28th, um, I realized our conversations were really dry, and I was just questioning, why am I with this person really? But I had told myself that I wouldn't give up on this person. Like, I would literally love this person with everything I have. And I had known that by us getting back after that week, it we weren't gonna go back to like the peak that we were at, right? Of like being comfortable with each other. So I was like, you know what? I understand that we're gonna go through like a slow build to get back where we were, right? And I literally had told her, like, dude, I think at this point we're past like what is this phrase, infatuation. We're past infatuation, and it's like it's either we love each other or it's either we love each other or we don't. And I had told her, I was like, dude, me, I'm over infatuation and I love you, like I want to be with you, okay? And then yeah, at some point I just caught myself being like, you know what, I remember, you know, when you were chasing a girl, you're asking a lot of questions of like, oh, okay, what do you like? What do you want to do? Such and such and such. And at the time when we had gone on that break for like a week, right? I really started to evaluate myself. I was like, because for that whole week, my eyes were freaking going crazy. My eyes were always low. Every time I blinked too much, I'd start crying. Like my moods were, I was just not feeling well. I feel like more I was more in love with this girl than she was with me, right? So my point ultimately is by the time we got back together, and I feel like I was in love with her because I knew more about her than she knew about me. Because in general, because of our conversations, I would find out a lot more about her because I'd keep asking her about herself instead of her asking me about me. Even when she asked me about me, she wouldn't really try to figure out me, unlike, as a guy, you would understand what I'm telling you. Like, as a girl, for girls, we put so much effort in like knowing this person and making sure that, okay, is this person okay and stuff like that. So I feel like for me, she never really knew me. Like she knew she would ask, and then basically that's weird. Kind of ended. It was like, okay, she asks, and then what is she doing with that knowledge, gang? Is she understanding that I'm that type of person, based off that knowledge, or is she just understanding the knowledge and separating the knowledge with who she thinks I am? You know. So, yeah, when we had gone back together on the 28th, during our conversation, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of trying to figure out this person, like what type of person she is. And she's not really investing in finding out the type of person I am. So it's like, you know what? I'm done like overextending myself to this person. As much as I understand that it will take time. I was like, okay, cool. Let me see what's gonna happen if I step back and uh let me see if she's interested. Because here's another thing, bro. I will say this with full confidence. And I know that I'm blabbing about this relationship, and I said I'm going to make another video. But here's one thing I will say: I know what it is to love a person, bro. I know how it is when a person loves you more than you love them. I'm not a dummy, gang. I know when a person is not responding to your text, my nigga, everyone has their phone with them 24/7. 24/7, gang. It don't take 5 million years to respond to a person and tell them, yo, this and this and this. But you see, the moment you love a person less than they love you, you will start to feel like, yo, I don't want to spend time with this nigga. And every time this nigga makes me feel like 1 2 and 2 and 2 is more reason for me to not spend time with that nigga. But when you're the one who's more in love with that person, you will always overextend yourself just to be with that person. So I'm gonna say that. So yeah, after the whole last temptation thing happened with that previous girl, with the girl was talking to, the talking stage girl, I asked her, I was like, dude, do you want to be in my life or not? You know? And she took a while to answer. She took like a couple hours really to answer. And I was like, you know what? I already know the answer to this. And I was hoping that it would not be the case. But but by the time she answered, she was like, nah, she don't want me to be in her life. I was like, okay, cool. I know what to do from here. I just left her. I didn't even respond to the text. I moved on with my life. Didn't even look back. Didn't sob about it. Don't feel some type of way about it. Because a nigga, why are you feeling some type of way about someone who clearly doesn't care about you? Like at all. At all, gang. And they're telling you that no, nigga, I don't want you in my life. So it's like, okay, cool. I just moved on. Yeah. So my point is, from the first day of fasting, this is my point. My point is, I'm sorry I got heated up because of that whole relationship thing. I still haven't broken my fast, but what am I gonna say? Yeah, my point is, first day of fasting, spiritually, what I learned was the moment I told my best friend that I'm fasting, I started getting tested. So the one thing I will say, there is power in telling people things. There's things that are listening. The closer you're trying to get to God, these things that are listening will always try to suppress and take away from you and give you reasons why to break your fast and stuff like that. When everything happened, the last thing happened, the girlfriend thing happened. So many things were going through my head. I was like, why am I even doing this? I was even questioning fasting because I mean, like, you know, she personally knows that to a certain extent, she is kind of the reason why I was fasting. But like I said, I didn't tell her about it because I didn't want to seem like I'm doing it for her. So yeah, spiritually, that's the first thing I will say. Other than that, there were a whole lot of things that I had initially wanted to fast about, and during the course of me fasting, I was getting closer to those things. And another thing I will also mention. Okay, this is yeah. Okay, you see, this is happening because I still haven't broken my fast. But another thing I will mention during a fast, the more you abide, quote unquote, the more you don't don't cheat, don't cheat the fast, is the more God will actually give you the strength to continue with the fast. So today, I personally know that a lot of things were happening today for me that made me feel like I was cheating the fast, you know. And I think that's why today I didn't have the strength at all, like to go through what I'm going through. Like at times, the strength would come. It would usually come. I would suggest this to anyone, especially if you're like fasting with a prayer. Um, Whenever I would incline myself to like get into scripture or watch something scripture related, those were the most times where I had the strength to continue with the fast. But when I was looking at, or when I was on my phone doing whatever that's just like taking me away from scripture, those were the times where it was the hardest to fast. So yeah, is there anything else I want to mention? Oh, the dreams, yo, the dreams, gang. I don't know if I should specifically mention like the type of dreams that I had. Or it's also I'm just a person who I feel like oversharing spiritually is also like based on what I told you. It's also kind of like, do you really want to overshare this? But the one thing I will say, in the second day, which was today's dream, yesterday's dream that I had today, I don't know, you do the math of what I mean. But that dream, there was this big. I was like in like I was heading towards this hill, and then there was a house, like a big house made out of glass. It was like a sunset and stuff like that, and I had to go to this house because there was a person who could fix whatever I needed fixed. I don't remember before the dream what happened, but I remember there was something that was kind of important, sort of. It was like a story that was happening before I was headed to that hill. But by the time I got to that hill, I was just so mesmerized. I was like, how is this even possible? Like, this house is so big, but it's at like the edge of like a cliff. Like it was, and it was a glass house. It was literally a glass house. But I got to that person, and the only thing I remember that person telling me, now the only thing I remember that person telling me is that he can help me. That's the only thing I remember. But yeah, there were a lot more other dreams that I had. It's just I don't really want to mention them. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, this was really challenging. Today, day three, was personally extremely challenging. But I look forward to the next time I actually have another fasting session, or um, I don't know, try getting closer to God, whatever you may want to call it. But one thing I will say is that fasting is definitely something that should be for you and not really anyone else, really. At first, I started like vlogging each day what happened. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this because if I'm continue doing that, I feel like I'm doing it for another person and not myself. So I think this this specifically, I'm doing it because dude, I if you know me, you'll know that I put a lot of time and energy in my YouTube channel. So that's mostly the reason why I'm doing this right now. So yeah, man. Is there anything else that I'm missing? Yeah, man. Anyway, um, peace be with you guys, and don't take fasting for granted. It helps. It helps. Thank you.